I hope everyone had a great Easter Sunday with their family. I know I sure did. My daughter and I cooked a lot of food, even though there's only 5 of us. We always wind up cooking too much food. We had ham, green bean casserole, mac and cheese, deviled eggs, rolls, corn on the cob, pork and rice, potato salad, baked beans, some toasted bread, strawberry cake, banana pudding, and another cake which I can't recall the name of right now. We all had lunch together, but then we had all these leftovers, so we had to pack it up and either freeze it, give it away, or eat leftovers for several days. So needless to say, I do not feel like cooking for this week's video. So I thought I'd read a short story about Easter instead. I have a book on my coffee table that contains a collection of short stories about holiday fun in the good old days. It's funny how you realize you're getting older when you read stories about the, air quotes, good old days, and they're actually talking about the way you grew up. This story was edited by Ken and Janice Tate. I hope you enjoy. Papaw and the Egg Hunt by Cynthia Hudson. When I hear someone finally call his grandfather Papaw, memories of my own dear Papaw flood my heart and my mind. My maternal grandparents were Tom and Minta Parks. We lived in northern Middle Tennessee in the small community of Winklers in Macon County. My grandparents were part of the Winklers and Bethany communities from the 1920s through the 1970s. Papaw Parks was a farmer and a church-going man who loved to have a little fun along his way in life. One of his favorite church-going seasons was spring, with the annual Easter Sunday egg hunt at our little country church. Back in the early 50s, many large families were part of our country church. One family, I recall, had 14 children, and 2 other families had 12 children each. There were many smaller families besides. We all attended Sunday school at Bethany Missionary Baptist Church. With so many children, we had a big egg hunt on Easter Sunday. Everyone in the community looked forward to Easter. Children got new Sunday clothes. Mothers and grandmothers spent the weeks before Easter getting new Sunday clothes ready for the big event. Graham Parks always saved money from selling eggs to help dress my cousin and me in matching Easter clothes. Graham ordered fancy little dresses, coats, hats, and other cute but itchy outfits from the Montgomery Ward or Sears Roebuck catalogs. Other mothers and grandmothers did the same in their own way to be sure that their children came to Sunday school dressed in their newest Sunday best. A lot of well-dressed boys and girls happily headed to the egg hunt each Easter Sunday. Papaw Parks loved Easter. He had attended school only long enough to learn the basics, and so he did not read well enough to enjoy the Bible reading classes of Sunday school. But at events like the egg hunt, he could do things he was really good at doing. Papaw loved the egg hunt. He got to hide eggs and try to make the prize egg especially difficult to find. Sometimes he even dug holes in the ground and covered them with leftover fall leaves. The eggs to be hidden were boiled, decorated hen eggs. Candy eggs were scarce in those days, but hen eggs were plentiful and traditional. Eggs were almost always fresh because we had gathered them the day before. It was also traditional to prepare the eggs on Sunday morning, just before going to the egg hunt. The eggs had to be cooked, cooled, and dipped in food coloring mixed with vinegar water. Sometimes we even had an egg coloring kit with little color tablets that dissolve in vinegar. The kits had a small copper wire holder that we used to dip the eggs into the colored vinegar water. We also had boiled eggs for breakfast on Easter Sunday because it was almost impossible to boil eggs without cracking a few in the process. Preparing the eggs for our egg hunt was a labor of love and tradition. One year, my parents and I had the honor of bringing the prize egg to the hunt. That year, we had a strawberry patch that needed weeding and debugging, and we used a flock of geese for the chore. If we were very diligent, we could find the nest of the geese and gather their eggs. To my astonishment, I even found a goose egg in a small pool in our barnyard stream. We were often surprised by where we found the goose eggs. Just in time for Easter, we found a good goose egg that we could use for the prize. A big egg made the prize more realistic. Mama had saved enough aluminum foil to wrap the eggs so that it appeared to be silver. It made a real shiny prize egg that would be easy to distinguish from the hen eggs we hunted to try to win the prize for finding the most eggs. Papaw Parks was well prepared for each egg hunt. He would arrive at church with a big smile and a salt shaker. He was always ready to eat any cracked egg that might not be fit to hide. He also sometimes carried a stick for digging a hole to hide the prize egg. He thought the prize egg would present a challenge. It should be earned by hard work. It should not be an easy find. As my grandparents entered the church, you could hear Gram saying to Papaw, "Now, Tom, please don't hide the prize egg in the dirt again." You know that the mothers don't want their children to come back to the church with their clothes all ruined and muddy. The mothers will be mad at you. Papaw would reply with a grin and a twinkle in his eye. "Aw, Minnie, it wouldn't be any fun if the prize egg is too easy to find. We've got to have a little fun." Gram would shake her head and smile. "You will never learn," she would think to herself. Papaw would laugh, and I'm almost sure he thought, "I'll find a good deep hole this year for the prize egg." Sunday school began at 10 on Easter Sunday morning. Children, parents, everyone was dressed in new clothes. My great-grandmother Davis, Gram's mother, taught the smallest children in what we called the card class. Great-grandma would hand out a greeting card-sized lesson to each child. Each card had a Bible picture on the front, the matching Bible story inside, and simple questions to answer on the back. On Easter, we would traditionally have the resurrection story. While we had our lesson, the gentlemen of the church were busy hiding the eggs outside on the church grounds. At the appointed signal, the Sunday school classes would be called to the church doors. Young children would line up first, and the junior class, ages 10 and up, would be next in line. Teenagers and adults stood back to watch the fun and the mayhem begin. On one particular Easter Sunday, Papaw was in his best form. He had managed to hide the prize egg so well that no one had been able to find it. The regular Easter eggs were all accounted for, but the prize egg still was safely hidden. Papaw led a group of eager little boys in clean new Sunday school clothes to a clump of rotting tree stumps. "The prize egg is somewhere around these tree stumps," Papaw said. The boys dug with newfound enthusiasm. Rotting leaves, fresh, muddy mulch, and pure mud began to fly. Luckily for the moms, most of the girls were not anxious to dig through the mud, but the boys sure didn't let a little muck deter them. The men's laughter could be heard for miles around, but the moms and the grandmothers were thinking ahead to the messy results, and not many of them were laughing. Finally, a shout of, "I found it!" rang out, and one young fellow emerged from the mud, proudly holding up the foil-covered goose egg. The boy was covered with mud and rotting leaves, and smudges streaked his smiling face. Papaw had done another good job of hiding the prize egg, and everyone had fun. Well, almost everyone. As they left the church, the women could be overheard talking about it. "I sure wish Mr. Tom wouldn't hide those prize eggs in the dirt," one said. "Do you think Mr. Tom would like to wash those new clothes sometime this week?" I could see Gram cringe and shake her head at Papaw with that, "I told you so" look. But Papaw would simply smile, wink, and shake a little salt on his fresh-boiled egg. No doubt about it, Papaw had enjoyed his kind of egg hunt back in those simple, good old days. I hope you enjoyed this sweet little story of days gone by as much as I did. I love reading and hearing stories that evoke little bits of memories from my childhood. I, too, came from a farming family that was actively involved in the local Baptist church. We always attended and helped to plan the Easter egg hunts at the church. I remember the food coloring and vinegar method that we used to color eggs, and how I always had a new Easter outfit to wear on this special day. Now that Easter is over, it's on to garden season. I hope you're able to put in a garden this year. It's always nice to be able to provide some of our groceries without having to go to the grocery store. So let's go get busy, and I'll talk to y'all later.